recollect and reflect how God has answered his prayers in the past. Amen. This causes him to be more confident within himself. So confident that he just laid down with 10,000 enemies around him. That's what God can give you. That peace. That you can sleep when the bills are due and you ain't got the money. That's what God can do when folks are talking about you, saying lies on you. It don't matter because you got God in your life. Amen. You see, David had no fear. No, sir. Now, don't let nobody tell you now, let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted because there are some things that people fear. A good Christian, Sister Jackson, fears that doing something will damage, dent, or diminish their relationship with God. That's what a Christian fears. Now, let us note that while God is pleased with our humble obedience, much more than he is impressed by our intellect, he does expect us, however, to educate ourselves and our children. God commands parents to diligently and properly train our children. If you don't believe me, look up Proverbs 22:6, because it says, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. Look where they are. Look where they are sitting right now. Amen. Through our history, many of our forefathers never had the opportunity to obtain nor even reap the benefits of a formal education. You see, but they knew one thing. They knew if they were ever to break the chains of bondage, never to submit to another cotton field or watermelon field, or to be a house servant like my mother was, or to work from sun up to sundown with no wages. Graduates, it is a blessing. You never had to work in this era. Our forefathers knew if their children were to be successful in this life, that their children would have to walk across the stage, receive diplomas, certificates, and degrees. They also knew that they had to have a whole lot of prayer. Amen. And they had to sacrifice. Somebody sacrificed for you. Somebody prayed for you. Let me show you a few. Now, the parents or guardians, please stand. And the parents or guardians, and the relatives of these kids, please stand. Church members, please stand. If you're a member, if you're in the church, please stand. You see, graduates, look behind you, look around you. See, there's going to come a time in life within whatever you do, whether you go to the military, Gigi, whatever you do, you go into college, you got somebody that'll pray for you. All you got to do is pick up the phone. Not a text. Pick up the phone and call them. All you got to do is call, because time's going to get hard. That's life. That's life. But you got somebody in your corner. Graduates, although I have received degrees, certificates, military certification, and a plethora of diplomas, I humbly submit to you that my greatest education about life came from my father and my mother, who never made it past the 7th grade. However, they ensured their son would make it to and graduate from college by praying to God and placing the knowledge of God in my life. As my parents and others prayed for me, amen, the same as I know these folks prayed for you. Your relatives, your friends, your mentors, your neighbors, your coaches, your teachers, and your church family. We all prayed for you. I don't know, graduates, maybe they went into a closed closet, confined themselves to the war room, or said a prayer of Deacon Payton while driving to work. Amen. You see, I don't know if they prayed for you doing your PSATs, your SATs, or your ACTs. Maybe they prayed before performance, Maya. I don't know, maybe they prayed for your traveling grades to and from school. But one thing that I do know is that they prayed for you. As I get ready to go to my seats, graduates, if you don't remember anything else from this message this morning, please remember the following differences of a formal education and an informal education. You see, a formal education is structured. And in the classroom is usually given by a person who has had specialized training in that area. And the informal education, my friends, is learned from those of your family, learn from the experience that they have gone through while they walk in that way, have walked that road that you now travel. The formal education may say that you're 18 and teach you that you're full-grown adult, but the informal education will teach you to be patient and listen to those who have walked that road. You know, Deaconess McGee says, you must learn God for yourself. You must do that right now. This relationship with God must be cultivated every day. And there's only one way to do that. You place God in everything you do. You know, a formal education, young men and ladies may teach you that you have the right to wear your clothes any way you like. In other words, young men, it might teach you that sagging is okay. Hip and cool. And young ladies, the formal education may teach you that you have the right to express yourself by wearing whatever clothes you want, even if it's too tight, too short, or inappropriate for the occasion. While the informal education will teach you, young men, to use a belt with pants, respect the ladies, and young ladies, the informal education will teach you just because you can wear it, don't mean that you should. It teaches you to act like a lady at all times. The formal education may teach you how to tell time, but the informal education teaches you to be on time. The formal education may teach you how to program all those settings in that cell phone. And you know most of us don't know how to do. But Lord, that informal education will teach you that sometimes you don't need to text. You need to call and have a conversation. It also teaches you that you don't have to place everything on Facebook. It ain't necessary. A formal education may teach you how to make $1 million, but the informal education will teach you how to keep it. Amen. The formal education may teach you how to read the Bible, but the informal education, amen, teaches you how to turn up, catch fire for God, all the while understanding and obeying Him. The formal education may teach you how to pronunciate, enunciate, and articulate, or even how to pontificate, while the informal education may teach you how to communicate, appreciate, formulate, and negotiate. Amen. All right, I'm almost through. I got my counter looking at me. She's saying you had 20 minutes, Daddy. Amen. The formal education, now graduates, I want you to catch this one now. Catch this one. The formal education may teach you that you achieved all of this through your own efforts. But the informal education teaches you that you achieve this because God resides at the intersection of Mercy Lane and Grace Boulevard. And all you got to do is call him. The formal education may teach you that the Supreme Court told you that you don't have to pray in the school, that you have that right. But the informal education teaches you pray without ceasing and to put God in front of and in everything that you do. The formal education may teach you all hope is lost when a man cannot do anything else for your situation. But the informal education will teach you to wait on God, because he will always provide a ram in the bush, as he did for Abraham. The formal education may teach you that you are measured by the number of the Facebook friends you have. Well, that ain't how you measure. You measure by what you do, how you treat folks, what you do to the downtrodden, to the sick, to the poor, how you treat people. Do you not talk about people? That's how you measure. Hey man, graduates, I know you have a lot of friends, but I just want you to compare your friend's resume to this friend's resume. You see, this friend's cell phone is never turned off. This friend can answer all of our phone calls at the same time. Amen. You see, this friend's life has been chronicalized in the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. This friend fed 5,000 with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, and then had food left over. This friend raised a man from the dead. This friend even walked on water. This friend healed a man that had been crippled for 38 years. Sister Rochelle, as I get ready to go to my seat, while I've mentioned all those magnificent feet, the greatest feat has not been mentioned. You see, this friend, Jesus. And that's all you got to say sometimes, graduates. You ain't got to do nothing else. When you don't know what to say, if you can't call home, this is the one friend that you need to call. It's Jesus. When you don't know what to do, when you made a bad grade, it's all right. Just call on Jesus. He'll tell you what to do. He'll tell you what to do. Don't worry about trying to find man and call man. If you can't get a hold of man, call him. My mother-in-law always says, if you said Jesus 3 times, everything will be all right. That's all you got to say. Amen. 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 Call on him. Graduates, you only need one friend. One friend in life. Graduates, I want to close by saying, choose Jesus. And he will choose your friends for you. You see, your family, when the family can't, they can't be with you in every situation. But Jesus can. And this friend, Jesus, will never leave nor forsake you. Put him first. Thank you.